outside of Philly, Beatty Lumber. Hey, Jonathan, how are you? Welcome to Cutting Edge. Charles De La Torre and Ashley Buchwald. Good to see everybody. I'm sorry I'm sitting on a Swiss ball, so I'm a little bit bouncy here today. Trying to improve my posture, if that's even possible. All right, Charles. Well, again, thank you for welcome to Cutting Edge, where Charles and I talk everything about lumber. Some of the stuff you may hear or may not hear from your close group of network friends in the industry. Materials Exchange, we're the only B2B e-commerce website promoting transparency and digital trading in lumber and building products. We're one of the first ones and the only one out there, and it's really been great. We actually, Charles, we're open on Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to 7 days a week and did trades on Saturday and Sunday. So Materials Exchange, our motto is we want to be awake while everybody else in the industry is sleeping. So let's talk a little bit about last week. So kind of a disconnect in the market. If you looked at futures, stocks, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, kind of in a free fall right now. But as much as we talk about lumber correcting here, I'm still moving a heck of a lot of lumber through the platform right now. And there's still a lot of inquiry out there. So what's your thoughts on the market starting out today on the 24th at noon Chicago time?
I think your guess is about as good as mine, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there is such a disconnect. I mean, there's plenty of wood to be sold. There's an appetite for it, and that's not really waning real heavy. Right. I think with some of the things that have happened, a $200 correction or $300 correction is not what it once was. Yeah. Because everybody knows it's just going to go right back up. And the biggest gray area for us, at least on our side of the table, is, how far down does that dive go considering spring's right around the corner? Yeah. And a lot of multifamily guys, in December were buying January, February wood.
Absolutely. And I had a call from a multifamily person on Friday in the Midwest. And it seems like everybody's trying to time a correction right now. So his thought was, I think we're selling off the next 3 to 4 weeks, and then we're going to have a bounce again. I'm like, and it's hard to really to look at that. I'm not disagreeing, but in his reasoning was he has a business booked all the way out through the end of the year at pretty darn good numbers, right? So the real question is how do you mitigate that risk? Everybody is used to doing it with buying and holding, although there are, there's a new company out there now selling options on lumber. I bet you people haven't heard much about, which is very interesting. I was just on a chat with a bunch of friends of mine. We were talking about that. There's swaps. There's forward pricing. There's people that'll short sell you. So we're going into an industry where there's so much volatility now. People have to look for other options to manage risk. So I guess what I'm saying there too is there's a lot of business out there. So we could have a correction. We certainly could. And again, but there seems to be still enough volume out there. So my question is, after that long-winded blovation, where's all the wood at right now?
I don't have a clue. I mean, I can tell you this. We got OSB into our facility last Monday, which was the 17th, and all of our production dates were 1/14. So I know for a fact OSB is about as tight gets. But when it comes to dimensional, it's kind of a misnomer because, you have mills that are offering wood in the morning, and then all of a sudden they say, all right, well, let us try to look at our VMI or our contracts. And you talk to them in an hour and a half, and all of a sudden they don't have anything but 2 trucks. And you got to wonder what's really the case and where is it going? I don't know that I have a crystal clear answer. I don't know that anybody does. Mitigating that risk is really the name of the game because that $200 or $300 swing is only going to last a minute amount of time. And once again, you get products that were the Thursday before Thanksgiving, a third or a fourth of what they're selling for now. Like I said, so at what point does everybody just kind of say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to jump in head first and go with it? At this point,
yeah, there's no doubt there. Talking to guys like Greg was talking to us last week. He had one customer that needed something this week. Last week, he's telling me was willing to pay $300, $1,000 more for it than instead of waiting 3 weeks. So market's got some interesting stuff. Again, not to belabor this thing, but we moved OSB last week again, all the way from California again, back into the Midwest, right? We moved OSB from Dallas, Texas, up to Madison, Wisconsin, which I said we moved European spruce off the East Coast all the way down to Houston. Now, that's partially because the market, with its traditional call around, those relationships don't generally go that far because people don't normally think that things will. But it's interesting how certain areas of the country are still sucking wood down.
Oh, and Texas is definitely one of them.
It is.
They've got a lot of demand that, you talk about guys in the Southeast, at least on our side of the country, they bought January, February wood, and it just seems like Texas and that whole west side is just gangbusters still. I mean, we've gotten inquiries from a lot of different people and different people that historically don't get involved as heavy as they are now, right? But they're trying to manage that risk and understand what the dynamics are. But it's almost too late to do that, in my opinion.
So what about your area of the world? I apologize. Everybody said there's a lot of background noise here. Your area of the world, what are you seeing in the Southeast? You got some weather. Again, we always get weather this type of year, but you said OSB is still hard to find. What's your feeling in the Southeast part of the market? What's pine doing? I mean, because I was quoting 4-inch and 6-inch pine through the platform today, and the first thing, it started showing up, right? I hadn't seen a lot of it on the platform so the price hasn't dropped yet, but people are taking some counters on it, right?
Yep.
So the first thing I saw last week is pine started showing back up to sell through the platform, which means all these top secret deals that were being done before are kind of gone. Now they're looking for other methods to do it, but the prices were still up there, right?
Well, I think it's a transfer of risk game at this point, and liquidity is the linchpin of it all. And when you look at, I think you and I talked 10 minutes ago, and you were talking about some pine that was on the platform versus some numbers you've heard on Canadian or Euro spruce, and they're wildly different. And I think for the first time in the history of the lumber business, that spread has been that large. Last year we saw some premiums of pine over spruce, but it wasn't $200.
Right.
So that's real interesting in and of itself, and makes you wonder what the future may hold. We talk about species versatility and how far that has gone over the past 2 years. Where does it stop?
So I was on the phone. I was on a call with a guy a few minutes ago, and he says Stinson Dean, and he put out on Twitter last week. He's wondering if anybody, I believe, and I may be off, if anybody would sell him, I think it was 2x4 pine, southern pine, into the Southeast for August at $1,000 a thousand. No takers. Think about this. $1,000 a thousand for August. Think about the cost of production of that product that far out, and the traditional people that sit at mills said they weren't interested in that or didn't do it. It will be interesting to see how that plays out, right? So that always scares me when people are that bullish price going forward. And Greg put something out on Twitter this weekend. Are we going to 2,000? He said, his poll, 80% of the people or something, or 70% thought we were going a lot higher, which means the market generally does the exact opposite in most cases. And everybody's long inventory right now, right? So, Bob put on here from Colorado, minor changes, stock market and board weekends has buyers jittery. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. I think people are looking outside of the industry on that. So any thoughts on that one?
Confidence is a good thing, but at some point you got to look at alternative motives, right? Ulterior motives. And you've said this in the past. It's very hard to be arbitrary when you're on one side versus the other. And if you're long inventory, of course, you're going to be bullish. And when you have an industry that's 73% bullish, it kind of makes you wonder. Yeah, there's a lot of good takeaway. And, a $200 swing nowadays is not as big of an impact, right, for lack of a better way to describe it, than what it was 4 years ago. But it's still big money. And, who are these people that have all this wood sitting all over the place that all of a sudden now want some liquidity and putting it on the platform and wanting to move it and taking counters? What do they have behind it? Because 4 weeks ago, all that wood was sold, right? Oh, well, somebody else owns it. Oh, it's going to a job site in March, or, we don't have anything that's unspoken for. And I think that's a dynamic that is going to be really intriguing to see unfold over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me, I want to get updated on your production there. How's your new lines going? How's everything going there?
I mean, we're still working out kinks, but I mean, we're jamming through it. I mean, we've got another trim line coming on at the end of the month, so we'll be able to cut right around 550 to 600,000 foot a week. So we are humming, but inventory is one of the biggest questions. And at what point do you just transfer your risk and walk away and pay everybody to push a broom until it gets to a point where you can get back in the market?
Yeah, that's the conundrum, right? Your machines are sitting there to run, not to not run, right? And yep. And you got to figure out how to always be out there beating the bushes and doing that every day. One thing I was going to mention on the platform day, we've got a lot of items up. We've got 2330 seconds Euro coming into Baltimore. We've got an exclusive lister on there. Probably got 5 to 10 trucks. We're looking to get some bids on that. So if you're not on the platform yet, you can direct message me and we can put them together and then get you on the platform. So I just want to throw that out there. What are you looking to do this week, Charles? Anything that anybody could help you with, or?
I don't know. It's not real clear. I think it's a little early to make that decision. I mean, Bob said weakness on the board. Yeah, there's weakness in the board, but how clear is that message to the actual market and the buyers in it? So it's I don't know. It's touch and go. You gotta trade it on a day-to-day basis. You can't look at it for a week by week right now.
Right.
You start to see things collapse a little bit, or we start getting phone calls. Mills have 5, 10, 15 trucks at a time. That's when we get kind of apprehensive.
Absolutely. Well, I kind of want to just do this because we hadn't done it in a couple of weeks and get back on track and get back in the groove doing it. So this one may be a little short. There's about 20 people on LinkedIn. I don't know how many on YouTube, but I think we'll continue this and fire it up again next week, Charles. And unless you have anything else to say, we'll kind of end it here and move back on with our day if you're all right with that.
No, I'm good with it, Ash. I enjoyed the time and conversation as always.
Good deal, everybody. Again, come to mxlumber.com if you want to have transparent pricing, real time in a digital environment, and we'll look to come to our future show tomorrow, which is Futures from the Free Seats with Mike Wisniewski, and then we've got shows every day at 12 o'clock. So we'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, Ash.
Thanks, everybody.